Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our TGIF Happy Friday, as they say, and Product Owner episode this week with Stella Iannaccio. Hey Stella, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Hello everyone.
So happy Friday, of course, and we're going to talk about the Product Owner because Product Owner role is not only critical, but it also needs to be understood from the Scrum Master's perspective. There are many aspects to the Product Owner role that we need to be aware of in order to help them and therefore also help the team deliver. And we'll talk about what great Product Owners do in a minute. But before that, Stella, share with us what might have been potentially the worst Product Owner anti-pattern you've witnessed in your career.
Wow, the worst. Okay, so what I think about the worst, I would say definitely was having a product owner who was present but not available. And like you rightly mentioned, a product owner is a key part of a Scrum team. And I think that's probably why the new Scrum guide talks about is no longer, like Scrum Master and development team. Like everybody is now a part of a Scrum team, right? It's no longer this and that. Because the product owner plays a key part of that role. And not only that, because they have the accountability, they have the authority to literally drive just the product vision for the team. And so being able to have someone in that capacity who's not available was one of the major things that caused a lot of issues and conflict within the Scrum team. And so I'll share the story, right? So we have this product owner, I had this product owner in this team and who would not have the time to engage in key team events. So I'm talking about daily, not even just daily stand-up, I'm talking about sprint planning and backlog refinement, which are two key Scrum events that we need a product owner to be available for. And so with that being said, we're not clear on critical decisions like the why behind certain stories or why behind certain epics, right? We were not clear on, well, what is the customer looking for and what data is backing that? How can we ensure that we're working on the most priority things per time, per sprint? And so we lacked all of that information. Now, I'll share more context as I share the story. And so what I had to do was figure out how can I have someone within the team, probably just wear multiple hats, right? Just so that we can just make sure that we move out across this planning or refinement as swiftly as possible. But what that caused was it led to more confusion. Of course, that person was wearing multiple hats. And then our goals were not clear at all. And we weren't even sure what we're delivering. And at the end of every sprint, and we're doing our sprint demos, we could definitely see that our customers were not excited or happy about what we're delivering. And again, because we didn't know what we're supposed to be delivering. And then even when I tried to reach out to product owners to give us feedback mid-sprint on what the work that we're doing, again, they were not present because one of the major anti-pattern was because they were spread across multiple teams. And so they could not be present to give us insight that we needed. And so if you think about from an impact perspective, like unclear priorities, we're not sure what our priorities were. The team was so demotivated because, again, they didn't know why they were building what they were building. They didn't get feedback from the customer. There was nothing to increase their motivation and increase their excitement as to what they were building. And because of the fact that multiple people wanted to step into that role to support the team, it was not that back and forth. Oh, I'm going to be a product owner. I know more. Oh, I'm more technical. And again, it just led to building features that definitely did not align with the stakeholders' needs at that point in time. And I knew that I was going to lead to a failure at the couple of sprints down. So some of the things that I definitely did was I had to intervene while I was seeing what was going on and try my best to see how can I either reach out to the product owners like management or their board to figure out, can I get somebody else? Again, resource constraint was a major factor. Was there someone within the team who we could take off their load so that they could work in that capacity? Another, again, I was coming to a no-go area at that point in time. So I definitely had to communicate to the powers there be, leadership, management, everybody to say, hey, not having a PO is spreading this team thing. And there's a risk that we're going to keep delivering features that the stakeholders do not work. So I asked myself, what can I do at this point in time? So I definitely work closely with the product owner to work like, what is your schedule and how can we build more communication channels from the one that we already had? And so one of the things what I did was, is there a way where we could facilitate like key workshops so that we can improve the communication between you and the team. Now, it might not fall within refinement or planning, but is it possible for us to have, even if it's just multiple sessions, like just burst of sessions where you can give us a good idea of what the customers might be looking for, if you have any document, anything of that nature, so that we can consume. And with that, that would help the team at least just a little bit clearer, figure out exactly what they should be building, sprint over sprint over sprint. And then I asked if there was also a way for him to come in to our review sessions as well, even before our review session. So one thing I asked was, can we do a review before a review, right? And so mid sprint, is there a way for us to do a review session with you so you can give us feedback, right? And so I was trying to think about all the creative ways that we could get more product on our face time instead of waiting to the very, very last minute. And so that helped a bit. That literally helped a bit, but I would definitely say like that was one of the anti-pattern because it impacted us, impacted our delivery. Again, stakeholders were not excited about what we're delivering. But one thing I would say that just shifted it in a more positive direction was we're able to get another product owner who was now solely committed to the team. And so that helped us a little bit. But for the time where we had that person who was present but not available, it was really trying to figure out how can we get more face time with him to help the team just get clarity on what they were delivering. So yeah.
And of course, that's all we can do, right? Like try to figure out how do we get a little bit
But
more face
sometimes,
time,
yeah,
maybe change the strategy, right? Like maybe backlog refinement is too late. Maybe we need to have like, I don't know, like more like vision style conversations, whatever that may be, so that the team can make more decisions on their own.
yeah,
Then build
exactly,
those early feedback cycles.
exactly.
Some time ago, I built this product owner sprint checklist where basically we have like a list of questions that the Scrum Master goes through together with the product owner in order to realize what is the availability that is possible, right?
Mhm.
And then make agreements of, where we are now and where we want to go, because very often these problems or these anti-patterns become bigger problems because we don't
Yes.
have a clear set of expectations of how to move things forward, right? Like where we're going to be, 6 months from now, right? We're not there yet, but where would we like to be? So it's very important. And I really like the fact that you highlighted that you try to work with the PO to figure out what can we do with the limited availability that we have right now.
Yeah, and I also want to even make a call out to organizations as well, right? Because if you think about it, the anti-pattern was already rooted in another anti-pattern. This product owner was spread across multiple teams, right? And so it's sometimes, the culture, the dynamic of the company can really be the breeding ground for multiple anti-patterns. And so going back to, the toolbox, Scrum Master toolboxes, what within your tools can you bring out to make it work within the organization, the company that you're in? While you're trying to make it work, is also trying to coach the leadership to make sure that they are also aware that this is definitely not ideal, but you're open to working with them to move them more towards, an ideal state, right? So I think that's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but there aren't only bad anti-patterns, there are also great patterns out there, potentially even great product owners. So Stella, share with us the best product owner you've ever worked with. How did they work?
So, okay, I'm going to talk about one that I think she's super fantastic, honestly. And the reason why I say this, she's actually even new to the team, and the organization, but there's something that she's doing that I think should be called out. And I'll say she's a visionary. And so what do I mean by that? So imagine coming to an environment where you don't have all the technical knowledge about what the teams are delivering. But I mean, you're supposed to build out a roadmap, and we also have the timeline down for for deliverables and all of that. So I would definitely call this person a visionary product owner. And one of the things that I would say that she has clear vision and strategy. And so she has put together multiple, she calls it like initiative refinement sessions where, well, this is a pretty new team. I'll probably say they're more like storming and forming phase. I need to deliver a roadmap, but I don't have all the technical knowledge. So what can I do? And so what she's done is she's got a key persons within the team that have key SMEs within key part of the deliverables. And we have literally a recurring initiative refinement session where everybody comes to that call and we're thinking about this is the end goal. So how can we reverse engineer and begin to put out our roadmap together as a team. And this is literally a recurring call where now when the teams are going to refinement or going to planning, they know what the end goal is and they can see the part of their work that connects to that. So I definitely say like someone who is present and someone who's available and someone who's very clear on what the end goal looks like, but also knowing that the end goal can change, which we all absolutely understand, but bringing people together to build that roadmap together, build the description, the acceptance criteria, all the definitions together, figure out exactly what the dependencies are together. So anybody can literally look at the project management tracking tool for that team and see what they are working towards. And so for me, I think she's definitely someone I would say is fantastic at what she's doing. So yeah.
I really like this aspect that you emphasized several times, and I appreciate that. Together, right? Like it's about bringing people together because the product owners don't necessarily have all the technical knowledge. It isn't at least a critical part of their skill set to know all of the technical details. They might need to know some, right? In some specific product owner positions. But in general, they need to understand the customer, the market, the industry, the business models, other stuff that is not the tech. But then the tech needs to come into the picture when we build the roadmap. And as you said, together. And I really like that emphasis because it really is. Software development is a team sport. It's not the product owner defining everything or the team doing everything. We do need to work together.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And the more she's doing that, the more other people are even able to join that call and learn from what's going on now. People are learning more of the technical part of it. She's learning the technical part of it. I'm learning the technical part of it because she was collaborative enough, to bring people together again, like I said. And now it's no longer her product vision or their product vision, everyone's product vision, because now they built it again, back to the word together. And like I said, that whole prioritized backlog also helps now. And so the teams know, okay, so this sprint, next sprint, we can have at least a 2 or 3 sprint out, backlog and all of that too. So I think that's wonderful.
And another thing that comes as a benefit immediately when we do this together is that the team can then bring their technological perspective innovation, right? Because otherwise it's the PO that needs to bring all of the innovation, but that's never the case. There's a lot of innovation that happens when we know the nitty-gritty details of how things are implemented. And of course, that only the team can bring to the table. So that's another aspect that I find is very often missing because people don't realize that, software development really is a multifaceted, complex endeavor, and we need everybody to be together and to deliver on it. It's not just the PO or just the team.
It's not just at all. So yeah, you're spot on. And everybody together, back to that team approach, team mindset, right? So you're spot on.
Absolutely. So Stella, we're getting close to the end. We want to thank you very much for all of the stories and insights that you've shared with us. But before we go, share with us, where can people find out more about you and the work that you're doing?
Absolutely. You can find me on LinkedIn, Stella Ihenacho. So that is STELLA space IHENACHO. You can connect with me there. You can send me a message if you want to work with me. That's wonderful. I'm also on Instagram at stella.ihenacho as well. From there, you can see the multiple things that I do. Like we talk about NSTAR Technologies is also on LinkedIn, NSTAR. So that's NSTAR Technologies. And it's also on Instagram as well. So I'm happy to work with anyone, collaborate. Like I said, Agile as a way of work and a way of life, something I'm super passionate about too. So.
Absolutely. And we'll put the link to all of those in the show notes. So the people do go out and connect with Stella. And why not ask a few follow-up questions from this week of conversations we've had. Stella, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for your generosity with your time and your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me, Vasco. It's been an amazing way to start my weekend as well. So I've been reliving my experiences and you've been asking wonderful questions. So I'm glad that this happened. Thank you again.
One more week of the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast is over, but there's a lot more we have to share. We have developed our own membership site where you find a community of active and engaged Scrum Masters. In this site, you get access to exclusive content and get to interact with us, your podcast hosts, as well as the best Scrum Masters in the world. So join us at scrummasterpodcast.com and keep this podcast free of advertising. See you next week for one more full week of Scrum Master tips and tricks. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.